Alright, guys, I'm back with another chapter in Joshua. We're in Joshua chapter 10, where the header reads, Israel defeats the southern armies. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had captured and completely destroyed Ai and killed its king, just as he had destroyed the town of Jericho and killed its king. He also learned that the Gibeonites had made peace with Israel and were now their allies. He and his people became very afraid when they heard all this, because Gibeon was a large town, as large as the royal cities and larger than Ai. And the Gibeonite men were strong warriors. So King Adoni-Zedek of Jerusalem sent messengers to several other kings, Hoham of Hebron, Piram of Jarmuth, Japhia of Lachish, and Debir of Eglon. That was tough, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Those are some tougher names. Come and help me destroy Gibeon, he urged them, for they have made peace with Joshua and the people of Israel. So these 5 Amorite kings combined their armies for a united attack. They moved all their troops into place and attacked Gibeon. The men of Gibeon quickly sent messengers to Joshua at his camp in Gilgal. Don't abandon your servants now, they pleaded. Come at once, save us, help us, for all the Amorite kings who live in the hill country have joined forces to attack us. So Joshua and his entire army, including his best warriors, left Gilgal and set out for Gibeon. Do not be afraid of them, the Lord said to Joshua, for I have given you victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up to you. Joshua traveled all night from Gilgal and took the Amorite armies by surprise. The Lord threw them into a panic, and the Israelites slaughtered great numbers of them at Gibeon. Then the Israelites chased the enemy along the road to Beth-horon, killing them all along the way to Azekah and Makkedah. Again, a lot of tough names, guys. As the Amorites retreated down the road from Beth-horon, the Lord destroyed them with a terrible hailstorm from heaven that continued until they reached Azekah. The hail killed more of the enemy than the Israelites killed with the sword. On the day the Lord gave the Israelites victory over the Amorites, Joshua prayed to the Lord in front of all the people of Israel. He said, Let the sun stand still over Gibeon, and the moon over the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still, and the moon stayed in place until the nation of Israel had defeated its enemies. Is this event not recorded in the book of Jashar? The sun stayed in the middle of the sky, and it did not set on a normal day. There has never been a day There has never been a day like this one before or since, when the Lord answered such a prayer. Surely the Lord fought for Israel that day. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. During the battle, the 5 kings escaped and hid in a cave at Makkedah, Makkedah, M-A-K-K-E-D-A-H, Makkedah. I'm going to go Makkedah. Then Joshua heard that they had been found. He issued this command, Cover the opening of the cave with large rocks and place guards at the entrance to keep the kings inside. The rest of you continue chasing the enemy and cut them down from the rear. Don't give them a chance to get back to their towns, for the Lord your God has given you victory over them. So Joshua and the Israelite army continued the slaughter and completely crushed the enemy. They totally wiped out the 5 armies except for a tiny remnant that managed to reach their fortified towns. Then the Israelites returned safely to Joshua in the camp at Makkedah. After that, no one dared to speak even a word against Israel. Then Joshua said, Remove the rocks covering the opening of the cave and bring the 5 kings to me. So they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. When they brought them out, Joshua told the commanders of his army, Come and put your feet on your kings' necks. And they did as they were told. Don't ever be afraid or discouraged, Joshua told his men. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord is going to do this to all of your enemies. Then Joshua killed each of the 5 kings and impaled them on 5 sharpened poles, where they hung until evening. As the sun was going down, Joshua gave instruction for the bodies of the kings to be taken down from the poles and thrown into the cave where they had been hiding. Then they covered the opening of the cave with a pile of large rocks, which remains to this very day. The same day Joshua captured and destroyed the town of Makkedah. He killed everyone in it, including the king, leaving no survivors. He destroyed them all, and he killed the king of Makkedah, as he had killed the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and the Israelites went to Libnah and attacked it. There, too, the Lord gave them the town and its king. He killed everyone in it, leaving no survivors. Then Joshua killed the king of Libnah, as he had killed the king of Jericho. From Libnah, Joshua and the Israelites went to Lachish and attacked it. Here again, the Lord gave them Lachish. Joshua took it on the second day and killed everyone in it, just as he had done at Libnah. During the attack of Lachish, King Hiram of Gezer arrived with his army to help defend the town, but Joshua's men killed them and his army, leaving no survivors. Then Joshua and the Israelite army went on to Eglon and attacked it. They captured it that day and killed everyone in it. He completely destroyed everyone, just as he had done at Lachish. From Eglon, Joshua and the Israelite army went up to Hebron and attacked it. They captured the town and killed everyone in it, including its king, leaving no survivors. They did the same thing to all of its surrounding villages, and just as he had done at Eglon, he completely destroyed the entire population. Then Joshua and the Israelites turned back and attacked Debir. He captured the town, its king, and all of its surrounding villages. He completely destroyed everyone in it, leaving no survivors. He did to Debir and its king just what he had done to Hebron and to Libnah and its king. So Joshua conquered the whole region, the kings and people of the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills, and the mountain slopes. He completely destroyed everyone in the land, leaving no survivors, just as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded. Joshua slaughtered them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza, and from the region around the town of Goshen up to Gibeon. Joshua conquered all these things and their land in a single campaign, for the Lord, the God of Israel, was fighting for his people. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. That's the end of chapter 10, guys. So that sounds like an absolutely brutal campaign, but it sounds like there was so much death in just a handful of days. And especially because a lot of times, this might be an oversight, but to fight the way that they did back then, sword, shield, armor, maybe bows and arrows, and the level of just absolute carnage there must have been is kind of mind-blowing to me. And to have such victory the way that they did over the insurmountable numbers that they did, because back then, sheer numbers was really the name of the game. There were no equalizers as far as the weaponry that we see, the modern warfare where one man can turn the tide against a war because of simply his ability and how it can be applied to the battlefield. To do what they did with really God at the helm is, I imagine that the neighboring nations were absolutely terrified when they saw just how insurmountable their victories were, and they still came out on top. And so to see how God kind of followed through in this, and really what really blows my mind when they mention from the areas of Kadesh Barnea to Gaza, the fact that those areas are still war-torn areas. And Israel's constantly in defense of nations that want to see it dead. And I get so confused, and I don't know if conflicted is the right word, but when we see God telling us stories that have had a cyclical impact in nature, like they're constantly happening over and over and over again until his people get it right. And for it to happen all the time, and really, you can see the United States' response to the Middle East. Now, I am not going to take any part in any understanding of political science when it comes to the application of warfare, why we go to battle. I don't know all of it. I know that I can anticipate turmoil in that region simply because what the Bible says. And for the fact that we constantly see that readily in our social media and all the things that are happening, I'm not close enough to the equation to feel comfortable to have a very strong opinion on foreign policy in that aspect. I just don't. And I couldn't imagine doing that. But to see that these things still reign true today is super eye-opening for me. I think that it's absolutely crazy that these are the written words from thousands of years ago are still so readily applicable to today, and the fighting that goes on over there, and just the misunderstood love of Jesus, and how prophets are still attacked, and all these things. And it's all written down. We're doing it all over again. And people still don't want to come to Christ. It confuses me. And I know it confuses me. I'm not to understand everything. It says that too. That, hey, there's things that I know. There's things that the Father knows. Everything is for the Father to know. Say, and I only know what I know. God is the only one that knows absolutely everything. And I'm thankful for that too. Sometimes what little I do know, I'm burdened by that. You know, there's, what was that? Ignorance is bliss. To some point, that's got a strong weight to it when you're really living a life that you want to lead with faith and follow in faith. And I just, there's so much peace when you simply surrender to God. Say, hey, I just want to do what you say. I'm not going to worry about the rest. I'll let everyone else worry about the rest, or just let you worry about the rest. And just follow you. And the victories that can be had, and all these fantastic things that can result by just simply following and submitting. You don't have to worry about anything else. That's nice. I worry about a lot of stuff that I really shouldn't have to. Sometimes it's, you know, and I don't want to conflate the fact that, you know, whether it be a professional job, that there's things that you worry about that you want to make sure you're doing the best for your family and the people that you serve at, whatever job you might have, and all those things. I think that there's going to be worries that while you can still cast those to God too, and just simply serve, that I think it becomes more difficult. I don't want to say more inherent, that the more you work, the more people you serve, the more worries you might have. But really, if you're just serving God, who knows the blessings He's going to pour upon you, and the doors that He'll open, and the people that you'll be in charge of or serving, or all these things. Give it to God. Go to Him first. I think that's the only place I can find myself, especially after the amount of frustrations that I regularly deal with. I just want to love people, and sometimes that has its own worries of its own. And so I'm just going to keep casting my worries and cares and frustrations and all those things at the foot of the cross, and keep serving, keep loving people. And I'm going to keep coming back here and reporting about the victories that I continue to have. So on that note, have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 11 of Joshua tomorrow, where the header reads, Joshua attacks the northern kings. Have a good night and God bless, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.